Starting recording of the Rezael deck Decipher video, take 2, in 3, 2, 1. Hello ladies and gents, dragons and demons and every other colorful thing on that spectrum we call life. Welcome back to another episode of Deck Decipher! Name still under development. On this series, we take a look at some of the many decks throughout Vanguard's history and runtime. That includes reboots, boring stuff, and depressing crap. On the roster today, we have Rezael! That's right, the Angel Boy himself. And man, do we not have a lot, surprisingly, huh? It's pretty recent. Now, before we continue, I would like to regale you all with a small tale. Now, you are on the brink of death, your life slowly flickering away, and you have no form of salvation. The land is covered in blood, both of yours and your allies. The light slowly fading away from you, till there's nothing but eternal darkness. Until a single white feather lands on your hand. Your wounds seem to miraculously heal. You question what had happened, whether it was luck or divine intervention. You look around, then up to see a man with 4 angelic wings flying in the sky. His feathers spread through the land and healing. You, my friend, have just witnessed the descent of a miracle. Originally released in DZBT-01 Fated Clash, Rezael quickly became a fan favorite and meta deck all from one booster set. Keep in mind, with any set that has DZ in it, usually has a silly issue of set 1 carrying the deck. So, yeah. The deck was used by the main character of the Cardfight Vanguard Divines anime series, the absolute mad lad Akina Miyota. The whole plot of the anime is units from Krei descend onto Earth and choose an avatar/card fighter to allow both of them and their fighters' wishes to come true in the Fated Clash, a tournament to decide fate. Lore-wise, Rezael and Akina connected since both of them had similar stories. They both wanted to heal a loved one closest to them. However, Rezael failed in his efforts and fell into a deep sadness and reclused himself. It wasn't until the Fated Clash he resurfaced, and he was able to meet with Akina, who was trying to cure his sister. Rezael felt a similar pain in Akina. His desire and drive both mirrored him and his journey, and so they decided to team up to cure Akina's sister, so that way Akina won't have to go through the same tragedy Rezael had gone through. The deck's primary game plan is basically just the simple bread and butter Keter nonsense: board swarm, card advantage, and abusing a little dog. On that start note, let's start off with the Grade 0, Wings of Aspiration Soel. Cool angel kid who can give base a run for his money. Generic D-Series starter skill: if you want second, draw a card. The weird thing about this guy was that he was originally released in the Keter Quick Start deck, without Rezael, and in lore-wise, this guy was a huge fanboy of him, and he was trying to find him. But I guess it's lore accurate that he got lost in the start deck. Anyways, moving on to the next card, we have Grade 1, Patroller of Gusts, Ventus Bakugan. Another cool angel dude whose skills are: when this unit is rode upon by Knight of Great Advanced Ascensior, call it to rearguard and soul charge 1. His secondary skills: auto rearguard during your turn. If you have a Vanguard with Rezael in its card name, he gains 2000 power. So, simple, straightforward, free board presence at the cost of soul. Not gonna lie, I freaking hate this guy. This is the same problem I have with Fort and Bastion. I always lose PGs and triggers. I freaking hate this type of skill. God freaking ugh. Though on Grade 3 turns he's a free 10k, so he's slightly above Fort in usefulness. This guy's alright, but personally, just cut him for Tranquilla from Alden's ride line. Though on Grade 3 turns he is a 10k, so he's slightly above Fort. This guy's alright for what he is, but personally I just cut him from Tranquilla from Alden's ride line because he'd get more mileage out of him than this guy. We're moving on to the Grade 2 with Knight of Great Advance Ascensior Escanor. Wow, another dope angel with a massive battle axe. Okay, this guy looks cool. What does he do? When this unit is rode upon by Rezael, call up to 1 Grade 2 or less unit from drop. Huh. That's cool, I guess. I was hoping for something a bit more impactful. You don't get a name like Knight of Great Advance and not do any great advancing. Jokes aside though, the effect is actually pretty strong. Getting back used up Caedwalla, Sergions, and Kyberese, or even just cards you discarded from riding, back on board for free and just building for free is pretty decent. I guess he is advancing the Rezael game plan, and speaking of advancing the Rezael game plan, we're moving on to the Heavenly Boy himself, Fated One of Miracles, Rezael. Am I saying his name right? Probably not, the anime has a different way of saying it. Grade 3, another angel, awesome, and outside looking like a complete badass with an angelic swordsman, he's got some pretty damn good skills. Auto Vanguard, when this unit attacks, cost CB1, choose up to 2 unit cards from your drop with different grades, whose grades are less than or equal to the number of cards in your damage zone, and call them to rear guard. That already is a really good skill. Remember how I kept spamming the Sergio picture? Yeah, this is how you use it. You can get a minimum of 1 Sergio activation a turn now, and you can make a whole column for 1 CB and get more value out of it. Getter value is skyrocketing with this guy, let's be real. Then, Divine Skill! Act Vanguard, Soul Blast 1. Return all critical triggers from your drop zone back to the deck and shuffle. Then this unit gets Drive +1 until end of turn. Then, until the end of this fight, you cannot ride units without Rezael in their card names, and you get red text. When your drive check reveals a trigger unit other than heal, if your damage zone has 5 or more cards, choose a card from your damage zone, heal it, and you lose his ability. So yeah, Legion plus plot armor plus ratio plus angel plus mortal plus L equals your bad. Yeah, this is insane. You now have a chance of an anime miracle heal, and it's a game mechanic now, which is stupid. And by the way, if you somehow manage to damage check an OT, you heal back down to 4. Let that sink in. A miracle overheal, because Rezael's skill states any other trigger than heal. That is dumb, and absolutely freaking amazing. Although this effect seems somewhat insane, it's actually pretty balanced, as it only adds back critical triggers back to the deck and only gives drive for that turn. It's not exactly game-breaking or game-ending. It can sure as hell be game-breaking and game-ending, but more so just keeping you alive and trying to push as hard as you can. Well, we'll get to the game-enders later. Rezael is an aggressive deck. You can build him as a bunker-style deck though, which focuses on card draw and stalling. Though I highly recommend keeping it the more aggressive playstyle with the next few cards we're gonna see. On to the next card though, we're gonna have the first ever piece of support, Knight of Gentle Beauty Nobia. She's a grade 2 with the following effect. Auto Rearguard. When this unit is placed on Rearguard, if you have a Vanguard with Rezael in its card name, cost CB1, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and call up to 1 grade 3 or less cards from among them, and place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. If it is the battle phase, reveal it and add it to your hand instead of calling it. Her secondary skill is Auto Rearguard when it attacks a grade 3 or greater unit. If you have Rezael on your Vanguard circle, cost Soul Blast 1, then this unit gets 10,000 power until the end of that battle. Basically, she's an archetypal Fault, same line of effects with barely any restrictions, although higher costs. She is one of the deck's main attackers and can quickly build a board on top of it. Very good synergy with Rezael, and if you call her off of a Censure, you basically get another card from your deck for 1 CB. If you get another copy of her from her first skill, you can do it all over again. Although it is a lot of CB, so 2 CB for an extra 2 cards, but we can rectify this easily. Introducing the next piece of support, Aerial Sage. A grade 1 with the following skills. Continuous Rearguard. During the battle, this unit boosted. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Rezael in its card name, this unit gets power plus 5,000. Auto Rearguard. When this unit boosts a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Rezael in its card name, cost. Discard a card from your hand, countercharge 1, and this unit gets power plus 2,000 until the end of that battle. So yeah, easiest way to have a countercharger? Have an archetypal one. This one's pretty nice, as for a discard you get extra resources. The discard cost may seem a bit heavy, but keep in mind, if your drop zone has no decent targets for Rezael's survival skill, you can activate this first, then discard a card to get a card you want to call back for multi-attack. And him essentially being a 13k booster automatically is really nice, and it can easily make magic numbers. This is probably one of the only grade 1s you're going to run in the deck, since a free 13k booster is much too valuable. Well, next to Sergio, of course. The next piece of support we have is Gargon. A grade 1 with continuous rearguard circle or guardian circle. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Rezael in its card name, this unit gets power plus 5000 and shield plus 5000, active during your opponent's turn 2. Not too bad. Him being a 13k on the opponent's turn 2 as well is nice, and the 10k shield is cute, though not as good as the other doggo. Only reason you'd really want to run him is for budget options, because frankly this doesn't really accelerate the Rezael game plan. Or I don't know, you want to build a full dog angel deck, which is completely valid. You make whatever you want, because a dog angel deck sounds awesome. Bushiro, why haven't we had a dog angel yet? Next, we have Gigantic Masher, a grade 3 with continuous rearguard. If your unit was placed on rearguard circle by the ability of your Vanguard with Rezael in its card name, this unit gets power plus 15,000. This guy is usually a good discard target if you don't have a Cycler or any other viable targets. His skill also activates even if you call himself from the drop zone, and a 28k beater is always nice and able to get bigger with triggers. He's kind of a good card, but I wouldn't advise maxing out on him as he is prone to being somewhat of a brick, maybe 1 or 2 of at best. And seriously, man needs to lay off the freaking protein shakes, damn, he's almost breaking the card. Now we move on to this flashy little guy, Knight of the Bowstreaks Nilberus, a grade 2, with auto when this unit is placed on rearguard by your grade 3 or greater Vanguard's ability, this unit gets 10,000 power until end of turn. Then auto rearguard. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Rezael in its card name, cost Energy Blast 3, put this unit into your soul, draw a card, and look at the top card of your deck, and decide where to place it, top or bottom. Wow, I think we just found Sergio's owner. That is a lot to take in. A free draw power, and just regular power on board, and deck stacking. Allowing to stack the deck is nuts, since the only deck that I can actually remember doing that is Hexaorb. And if this is in the same column as Sergio, pot agreed, baby! This is so good for Rezael, as now it has somewhat of a guarantee of a miracle trigger, or at the very least, more draw power. Now do you see why I incentivized the aggressive playstyle? This guy is worth it. Seriously, this guy just makes the deck insanely plusable. Moving on to some more generic cards that you can add to the deck, the aforementioned Sergio that I kept spamming, the killer pile of Forefront Knight Tasteful and Wisdom of Beginning that cleared the world, basically allowing you to draw more cards, be more aggressive, and more deck sitting. And this was used before Nilberus was released, so if you can't afford Nilberus or Sergio, just run these two. Then you have the order card Warrior's Rest for more power, Divine Sister Biscotti as a Cycler, which can also stack the deck if you Persona wrote that turn, Knight of Piercing Cadwalla and Knight of Rendering Flash Cabri are also really good for either building boards or just getting more hand advantage. And of course, the greatest swordsman of all, Sajas. He is just that good. You should always run him. Final thoughts? The card pool of supports itself is currently somewhat small, but there are a great number of generic supports. The deck has many ways to play and run, and it's overall a very strong deck and a very good contender. Overall, it's a well-balanced deck and has good fundamentals. Very reminiscent of the old Gold Paladins, somehow mixed with Grand Blues. I can't believe I actually said that. That sounds like the weirdest child ever. I know a lot of people wanted Rezael to play like Angel Feathers and manipulate damage, but I personally think Bushiro made the right call of making Rezael the way that he is, especially for a protagonist deck, as if he was built like Angel Feather, he might be a little too stupid. Rezael doesn't exactly feel like a Bastion love child that I first envisioned, but he definitely gives out the Jiva love child from the Calling from Drop skill, which is really nice. With the next season of Divines coming shortly, I am excited to see more Rezael support and interested if he gets a new form, since most of his supports aren't limited or aren't specific to Fated 1-Up miracles. So maybe we get a new Rezael form. So yeah, that's interesting to look at. But enough rambling for me. My name is Scarlet Emperor, signing out.